Chapter 1. We start off as the MC says that an event like changing seats is a major and heart-pounding event. As we see him sitting and reading something, he continues and says that the changing seat event is exciting only for the extroverts. For a loner like him, there's nothing fun about this event. As he's thinking this, he hears some girls planning to go out to grab a frappuccino on their way home. One of the girls says that she can't cause she's a brokey right now. The other one giggles and tells her that she'll pay for her, so it's okay. As the MC is looking at these girls and listening to their conversation, he thinks that apparently changing seats event can also be a heart-pounding event for him too. The girls decide on this and suddenly turn towards the MC and say that this plan definitely includes the MC too and tell him that they all are going together. Now we start from the very beginning. We see the MC sitting in the last seat near a window. As the window is open and the breeze is disturbing the curtains, we see him reading a book as he says that he likes the seat. He likes it because he can quietly read his light novels without any disturbance. As we see him reading a lewd, light novel, he can see the other students having fun in front of him. He thinks that these extroverts are noisy as ever and hanging out again today. He thinks that he would rather stay a loner than hang out with those noisy people. We see him smiling as he reads his lewd novel and appreciates his seat as he can be left alone. As he's in his own flower field, thinking that this seat is surrounded by 2 or even 3 layers deep by the rest of the class. This corner seat could truly be called a mythical pull. He smugly smiles and thinks that he's got to savor every second of it. As he's thinking this, suddenly, someone calls the entire class and announces that they'll be doing seat changes today. Hearing this absolutely shatters his dreams. As he's devastated standing at his seat, he hears some girls say that this is the first time they are changing their seat. The other girl replies and says that she heard that the class rep, Kuroki, asked the teacher for this seat change. Hearing this angers the MC as he lost his perfect seat. He loathes Kuroki for the seat change and thinks that for a loner like him, seat changes are a gamble where he doesn't win anything. The girls who announced the seat change put up a chart and tell the class that this is their new seating plan. A girl bumps into the MC as she's happy about her new seat. The MC gets freaked out by being touched by a girl. He goes to the board and tries to check where his new seat is. He looks at the chart and sees his name right in the center of the class. Seeing this leaves him absolutely destroyed. But for a faint second, he thinks that there might be a chance that he might be surrounded by his fellow introverts too. With a glimmer of hope in his eyes, he looks for the other names around his seat. He sees that the people around him are Ichinose, Izumiya, and Kuroki. Seeing this shocks him even more. He looks at his new seat and sees the girls sitting around there. The place radiates extrovert energy to his eyes. He looks at the girls and wonders, why did he get stuck in a seat like this? He freaks out and he thinks that being surrounded by 3 S-tier beautiful girls is the worst seat for him, no matter how he looks at it. The other guys are jealous of the MC's seat, as he's able to sit next to the class beauties. The MC hears the guys in the back and thinks that these girls are definitely the center of the class and the undisputed cast top. He remembers his old beloved seat and thinks that all he wanted was to sit quietly in a corner and enjoy his lewd light novel. But instead, he has to go through hell now. Now he thinks that he's not seen the girl sitting next to him before. He sees that it's Eri Miyama, the embodiment of cute, and that she's so sly. The MC thinks why the hell is someone like her sitting in front of him and thinks that this is the worst. As he's thinking this, we see the other students looking at Eri's assets and look amused. Eri tells a girl that her nails are so pretty and asks the girl if she did them herself. We see the other girl say that it's nothing special and thank Eri for the compliment. The MC looks at this other girl and thinks that she's a downer type gyaru and her name is Yuria Ichinos. The MC agrees that he likes big boobs and curvy bodies, but in real life, gyarus are kinda intimidating. He's scared that they'll get the wrong idea. The MC watches these girls from the back as Yuria tells Eri that their seats are pretty close. Eri agrees to her and asks if Rui is the one who arranged it, so they all could sit near each other. Eri turns and calls out Rui. Hearing the name Rui surprises the MC as this is the same person responsible for the seat changes. Rui calls the MC's name with a smile on her face and tells him, "Long time no see." She whispers to him and tells him that they'll be neighbors starting today and that it's nice to meet him. The MC looks devastated as he thinks that it's all her fault that he ended up in this seat. But on the surface, he greets her and tells her that it's nice to meet her. Seeing this interaction between Rui and the MC confuses Eri. Yuria notices the teacher and tells them that the teacher is here. The teacher looks at everyone and says that it seems like everyone has their new seats now. He tells them to not get too excited, cause this is the only time there will be a seat change, and this seat change was only allowed because the class rep Kuroki insisted. Hearing this shocks the MC. He looks at Kuroki sitting next to him and thinks that he's stuck in this seat until second year, stuck between the three class beauties. Eri turns around and asks Kuroki if she even knows the MC. She smiles and says that she knows him because they were in the same class back in middle school. The MC is reading his lewd novel as he overhears the girls. He smiles as he wonders if Kuroki even remembers him. He gets curious and excited to know if she remembers him, but tries to calm down by concentrating on his novel. Suddenly, Eri looks at his novel and gets surprised as she sees that it's a lewd book. Seeing her directly like this startles the MC. He tells her to shut up, but suddenly notices Ryouta staring at him blankly. He notices her and worries as he believes that she's totally judging him for reading the light novel. But suddenly, Ryouta asks the girls if they want to go buy sushi today. Seeing the change of topic makes the MC happy and wonder if this is a girl talk. He gets happy as he thinks that they won't tease him now and thanks Ryouta in his mind. Kuroki replies and says that the track and field club is free so she can come and asks Eri if she can come. Eri suddenly starts to panic and goes silent for a minute. She apologizes to them and tells them that she can't go today. Apparently, her boyfriend wants to go to Starbucks after school. Yuria replies and says that it can't be helped if that's the case. Eri once again apologizes to them. The MC hears all this and thinks about what she said. He envies them, but thinks that a bottom feeder like his has nothing to do with that anyway. After school, we see the MC on his own on the street as he looks tired and hunching. He says that the jealous stares from the other guys were painful. He overhears a couple talking about going home and doing the deed. Hearing this makes the MC annoyed as he calls them normies. But suddenly he cheers up as he looks at a store and thinks that he has his beloved manga and light novels. He enters the store with a huge grin and thinks that today is the release day of the light novel he wanted. Now we see a poster saying that the light novel named In Another World, I Sucked the Boobs of S-Rank Beauties and Absorbed Their Cheat Skills is out of stock. A store clerk apologizes to him as she says that it's out of stock. The MC stands there devastated. He thinks that this is expected of his favorite web novel, The Boob Sucker, and it can't be helped. He walks out the store as he is trying to call another nearby bookstore to check if they have the book. As he walks on the road, he asks the other store clerk if they have the light novel, In Another World, I Sucked the Boobs of S-Rank Beauties and Absorbed Their Cheat Skills. As he says the name out loud, he thinks that it's kinda embarrassing. The store clerk says that she'll check for it with a cheerful tone. Hearing her makes the MC think that she's unusually cheerful, and her voice also sounds familiar and really high quality. He wonders if he's just tripping balls or something. The store clerk returns back and says that they have 4 copies left. The MC thanks her and tells her that he'll head over there right away. Now, we see the MC going into the other store as he thinks that the clerk had a young voice and wonders if they're a new part-timer. As he enters the store, he tells the clerk that he's the one who called earlier. We see the clerk replying to him and saying that they have the book, but suddenly she gets confused as she sees the MC. The MC also gets surprised by seeing that it's none other than Eri. She realizes that it's the MC who sits behind her and gets surprised. They both look at each other as the MC questions why she's working a part-time job. Eri starts to get awkward. He sees this and turns around as he thinks that he'll just pretend he didn't see anything. But suddenly she grabs his shoulder and calls him. She looks worried as she asks him if he's planning to tell everyone that Eri has a part-time job. Hearing this confuses the MC. She screams and tells him that she has permission from the school, and this job is within the working hours allowed by school rules. With tears in her eyes, she tells him to not tell anyone. But suddenly another clerk comes and tells them to stop having a lover's quarrel during her shift, and it's against the rules. Hearing this makes Eri blush. As she is blushing, the MC thinks that she should at least make it clear that he's not her boyfriend. The clerk tells Eri to go take a break in the break room and tells that her boyfriend can go with her too and sends the MC. Now we see them sitting in the break room as Eri is still crying. She apologizes to him and tells him that it was her fault. He replies and tells her that he's sorry too. He looks at her crying face and her puppy-like eyes looking at him. Seeing her this close makes him panic. He thinks that a loner like him can't handle being alone at this distance with a girl. As he's thinking this, she tells him that she suddenly got scared. She is scared of being called poor like back in her past. Hearing this confuses him. He asks her what does she mean by poor. With tears still in her eyes, she tells him that her family is really poor. Her dad passed away when she was little, and her mom raised her all on her own. She smiles to laugh her sadness as she says that she didn't get any allowance, and there were a lot of times that were really tough on her. Hearing this makes him think that Aries had it rougher than he expected. She continues and tells him that back in middle school, when her friends started wearing makeup, she was the only one who couldn't keep up, and that made her feel really left out and miserable. So she worked real hard to save money, and she studied fashion and makeup like crazy. Through her hard work, she finally was able to become the cute version of herself. For her to keep her cute version, she needed a lot of money. He asks her if that is the reason why she got a job. She replies and says, yeah. He thinks that getting a part-time job doesn't automatically mean that she's poor. She continues and tells him that it doesn't bother her if people call her poor anymore, because she's gotten used to being called that by others anyway. But she definitely doesn't want Yuria and Rui, who became her friends all the way back in their first year, to find out. She absolutely doesn't want them to know. She gets close to the MC and pleads him to not tell them. He looks at her and tells her that he honestly respects her. Hearing this confuses her. The MC folds his hands and tells her that he's never even bought anything with the money he's earned himself. So compared to him, she's way more mature. And that's why he could never look down on someone like her, and he absolutely wouldn't. Suddenly he realizes what he's saying and turns towards her to see her reaction. He sees that she's smiling and wiping her tears as she tells him that he's actually pretty sweet. She looks at him and giggles. Seeing this makes him blush and confused. She gets up and tells him that she has to get back to work now. She asks him, didn't he come here to buy the boob book, right? He goes to check the book, but sees that the book is out of stock now and gets sad. Suddenly, Eri whispers in his ears and asks him if he found the book. Seeing her so close startles him. She laughs at seeing him react like this. He looks at her and thinks that this is why he can't deal with extroverts. Suddenly, she slides a book. He sees the book and can't believe that it's the boob power-up book. She shows him the book and asks, isn't this the one you wanted? And that she saved a copy when he called her before. Seeing what she had done for him makes her seem like an angel to the MC. She asks him where's her thanks for reserving it. The MC repeatedly bows down as he thanks her. Seeing him do this makes her say that this is not the kind of thanks she meant. Hearing this confuses him. She gets shy as she tells him that she set it aside for him out of customer service spirit, so in return he has to treat her to something. Hearing this surprises him. She smugly tells him that he knows her true nature now anyway. As she grabs his arm, she tells him that she's a pretty straightforward girl and asks him to treat her to something at the cafeteria tomorrow. Seeing her saying this makes the MC think that she's not an angel, but a little devil. She asks him what his name is, and he replies. She tells him that she'll be looking forward to lunch break tomorrow. Hearing this surprises him. The other clerk calls for Eri to come tend the register. She waves bye to him and goes to do her work. After she's gone, the MC imagines her feeding him and thinks that he'll be having lunch with Eri Miyama, one of the queens of the school caste hierarchy, which is totally insane no matter how he looks at it. And this is how this chapter ends. Hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you,